Morning everybody, it's Jamie at Iconic, and I thought on this very, very cold wintry morning I'll just give you all a little tour of the workshop. Now, what's made me let's get out this light. What's made me think to do this is recently I was asked by a potential customer. Basically, it was a bit of a piss take that I was charging so much for a part that he could buy for 20 quid on AliExpress. And I was kind of like, well, what do you mean by that? He goes, well, all you're doing is just like, shipping them in dead cheap and putting your sticker on them and then charging 3 times the price. I was like, no, we don't buy anything from AliExpress. We make everything ourselves. And he goes, well, there's a thing here and it's exactly the same as yours. And I was like, oh, right, okay, is there now? So I had a little look, and yeah, several of our products have been copied by the Chinese, and they're charging a lot less for them. I had a good look at the pictures, and all the pictures on the website, on AliExpress, are our pictures from our website, and the few pictures of the product that they're selling that are on there, which are very few, you can tell the paint finish is very poor. The thickness and gauge of the metal they use is very thin. Some of the plastics they use are just very thin as well, so they won't offer the protection that our part does. They've obviously not had to do all the R&D to check that the parts work or fit or anything like that, so they just, you know the story. Anyway, so I thought what I'd do is I'll just have a little walk around and I'll just show you actually our workshop, and that we are real and we do everything ourselves pretty much. The only things we don't do, because we haven't got the room, we use a company down the road to do our laser cutting for us. But again, we do all the design work and whatnot. All the CNC work we do ourselves in-house. All the fabrication work we do in-house on our own. Welding, things like that. We're a very small team. There's only 4 of us at the moment. So everything is done by us, by our hands, and no cheap Chinese rubbish. So let's begin. So I am now upstairs, and this is our stores. You see all the parts all boxed up, ready to go. And I get a spreadsheet there, two big bits of paper that's got our orders on for the week. And twice a week we print that off and we go through and we fulfill all the orders as we were doing there. All our boxes and packing materials down there. And that's the first part of the business. So join me downstairs next for some of the workshop. Okie dokie. So you now join us in our little inspection room where we have a little marking out table and a measuring machine. And we also have in here all our 3D printers, because it's warm in here all the time, so it's good for the printing. We also have over there our 3D scanner, which we use to reverse engineer bits of motorbike, basically. We've got actually at the moment we've got some jobs being inspected. We've also got some clocks down there, some Ducati clocks. And this is our little warm room that we do all the measuring in, out the way of the workshop in the quiet. So, yep, there you go. That's the first part of the journey. So now we're walking through the workshop, and we're now at the front of the first unit. This is where all the motorbikes sit that are either customers' bikes we're borrowing or our own bikes. There's a couple of mine are in here for the winter. And this is where basically we'll take bits off bikes, put them in the other room, measure them, work out mounting positions for bracketry, things like that, do test fits of parts, and yeah, all part of the development process. Then as we walk through the workshop, so past the bikes, kitchen, very important, got to make a brew every so often. Got a CNC machine, it's 3-axis CNC mill, and at the moment it's making some lovely machined aluminium plates, very thin, got a very thin wall on them, 1.5mm thick wall at the base. And if you look in there, you can see that. That is a vacuum fixture, so we can put these very thin pieces of metal in there, and it uses suction to hold them down onto the plate, and then we can machine them. Because if you try and hold them in a vise, you squeeze them and you end up bowing them, because they're only 1.5mm thick. They're very delicate. So yeah, so we designed that fixture, a lot of time and effort, parts in there, job done. Then we've got a CNC turning centre, or lathe. Let's open her up. There you go. Tools, got a collet chuck on there at the moment. A few tools in there. We were just making some little washers for Motor Guzzies, actually. For Motor Guzzi cylinder head finishing washers, something like that they're called. There's one there. Focus. It's a pretty little thing for a little cap head screw. So again, we've had to find a bike, reverse engineer it, do a drawing of it, program it, machine it, and then a month later we find them on fucking AliExpress for pennies. Good old manual lathe. We always find that that's probably one of the most used machines in the workshop. We've got a little area there where I call it the dirty corner, because that's where people get dirty, grinding stuff, deburring things, polishing things. Shop blaster. We've got a little fabrication area here, a bit messy at the moment because we've just been doing the fabricated toolboxes for the adventure bikes. So just finishing those up, and then we can have a tidy up. We've got a little laser cutter there for cutting plastics and wood, even stuff like that. We can laser etch things. Now we're in unit 2. Selections of nuts, bolts, washers, spacers, knobs, all sorts of good things, and a load more CNC parts. These are actually legs for some furniture that we're making for somebody. Billet machined legs for some very expensive kitchens. And then just to show you some of the sort of development stuff, so every time we do CNC a part, we typically have to make some sort of jig or fixture, or some way of holding a part. Sorry about the light, there we go. So these shelves in this little room here, they're all full of fixtures and jigs. You know, all this time and effort to try and develop the parts goes into all this sorts of bits and bobs to make it happen. So walking through, we've got the big horizontal Kitamura machining centre. Just show you the inside the door. So it's kind of like a 3-axis machine, but the spindle comes out horizontal rather than vertical. So that's quite good for heavy work that has lots of heavy cuts and hard materials. Couple more bikes in the workshop, Desert X and my Multistrada. Here's all the tooling for the machines. Lots and lots of tooling, lots of investment in what we do. None of it's very cheap, but we try and buy the best where we can for things like that. Let's just have a look. One of my apprentices were doing some organising yesterday, so we bought some trays to organise the drill bits in the toolboxes, and it's good. Although the labels have peeled off the things, look. So we'll have to have a rethink on that one. Little station here where we store all the work holding, so vices and chucks and things like that. So there we go. And then this machine's just warming up at the moment. Just letting the spindle run for a few minutes, just to warm the bearings up and the oil. It's just been machining these clamp blocks for a racing car that hold the steering rack to the chassis, and we're just now doing these top caps and they sit on there like that. Pretty cool. So that machine's running away nicely, what will be in a few minutes. We've got an old 3-axis machine there. It's old, well, that was new when I was an apprentice, believe it or not. That's how old that machine is, but it's a good old machine, keeps going. We use it for odds and sods. And then we've got a metal rack where we keep raw materials on the shelf, stuff like that, oils and lubricants. We've got another kitchen up there. Like I say, got to have plenty of tea in this game. So yeah, that's basically our little setup, and I hope from that you guys can realise that small businesses like ours, it really hurts us when the Chinese just go and effectively steal our product and do a poor job of copying it and sell it for a lot less. It is appreciated when you guys actually do buy stuff from us. It allows me to employ the people that I do. I'm very big into the education within engineering, and we've got two apprentices at the moment, and everything you buy helps keeps them in a job and allows me to train them. So we've got more engineers moving forward. So hopefully you were able to just take away something from that. Let me know some comments. If there's anything else you'd like to see, if you'd like to see us set a machine up or something like that, or do some programming, let us know. But I'd like you guys to get involved if you can. It's nice to hear the feedback, and we'll be back in the future. Cheers.